Hello everyone, Namaste and Ahoy. Welcome back to my channel. This is Arsh this side, and today I'm going to shoot the third video of Economics ASAP series. And again, as you must have guessed from the thumbnail and title, the topic for today's video will be Principal Agent Theory. In abbreviation, I call it PAT, and it is also known as Agency Theory in academia. So, in order to understand Principal Agent Theory, you need to understand who are the two major players in this theory. Common sense wise, it is visible that the first player is principal and the second player is agent. So, a principal usually is an authority who is always in a position to command, right? And on the other hand, agent is an institution or a group of people, group of individuals who are supposed to follow that command. Okay, so principal usually has financial resources, or the principal has power to command, to dominate over the agents, right? And agents are supposed to implement that command, and they are actually dependent on the financial resources of principal. And the theory tries to analyze and understand the relationship between principal and agent. So if you want to see principal agent relationship in real life scenarios, think of a minister and a bureaucrat, right? A minister is a principal who gives command to his bureaucrat to whatever he wants to do in his constituency, and the bureaucrat, usually the district magistrates, the collectors, implement it. The second example being employer and employee. Employer gives then employees the task to achieve for the company, and employees have to do that, right? Then teacher-student relationship, right? Teacher teaches students, teacher expects students to learn to pass examination, and students are heavily dependent on teachers. Then again, in a private company or in any private setup, managers and juniors, right? Managers command and juniors follow their command. Now, even though the origination of this theory has come from the economics discipline, the implementation, the relevance of this theory has been widely accepted and also implemented in various scenarios such as labor market, health sector, education sector, and most importantly bureaucracy, the political and public administration setup. And I will be focusing on the last application of this theory. So, seeing the implementation of principal agent theory in context of bureaucracy and politicians, we can see that politicians and administrators usually interact and collaborate with each other to form public policies for the welfare of their society and community. In principle, the relationship between politicians and administrators can be seen as where politicians are always in a position to command. They hold the financial resources, they hold the budget, be it at national level, be it at community level, or be it at local level. And whereas agents who can be seen as bureaucrats, they have to obey the command of politicians, right? They have to implement whatever politicians want, has an intent to implement in his community, in his country. Even though agents like bureaucrats and public administration has to work under the command of politicians, bureaucrats play a major role, because at the end they are supposed to implement the policies, right? And they have a knowledge advantage. They know the ground situation more than principal authorities, than politicians, right? And this is how the functioning of state apparatus actually looks like, right? But as you know, things are not really ideal and very simplistic in real life, right? So even though the interaction and the relationship between principal and agent authorities is seems to be too simplistic in this theory, it doesn't happen to the case in real life, right? So there are a lot of problems which arises, and the first problem being that there can be misaligned intentions, misaligned opinions. I mean, principal authorities and agents can disagree with each other on various facts. They might have different opinions, right? And it creates a tricky situation, because at the end, principal is dependent on agents for the implementation of policies and for the implementation of tasks. Also, agents are dependent on principal for more financial, for more monetary power. So in reality, it leads to a very tricky situation where there is a conflict between the two. Then second problem is information asymmetry, right? As I said, agents work on the ground. They are the implementers of principal's command, right? So agents are supposed to have more knowledge than principals, and they can use it to trick the principal authorities. Bureaucrats can trick politicians by using this knowledge advantage they have, right? Then the third problem is adverse selections. Now, sometimes what happens is that principals, the government may choose wrong. For example, let's say the Ministry of Road and Transport wants to construct a highway, and they issue the tender for constructing that particular stretch of highway, and they select the wrong implementer. They select the wrong company. They select the wrong agent, right? That is because principal authority, the government didn't have, the Ministry of Road and Transport didn't have complete information about the agent, about the company, about the tender company, and which often leads to lack of implementation of public policies in the country. The fourth problem is shirking. Now, shirking can be seen as evasion or avoidance of performing a defined responsibility as enriched in the contract. So if government has given any certain responsibility, for example, to schools and to universities to implement new education policies, and schools and universities can be reluctant to implement new education policies due to various factors, mostly resource deficient factors. So what can the principal can do in that case when the universities and school will not implement new education policy? Then what is the point of framing that policy, right? So these kinds of problem can also emerge. So this is, in short, principal agency theory. And looking at the historical aspect of this theory, it was actually developed by Michael Jensen of Harvard Business School and William Meckling in the 1970s. So I think this is all for this topic, and I hope you liked it. I hope you understood it, and I hope you will see how this theory is implemented in your community, in your society, in your life. Thank you. Happy learning. Bye bye.